Okay, good time to welcome Mayuresh Joshi then on the show. Mayuresh, market's looking a little bit jittery today. Unsure what's gone on there, but there has been, you thought we had a good trading session going. 23,400 appeared was there for the taking, and that slipped a little bit. Since Ekta's put us in this pharma mood, could you tell us what do you like from the pharma space? Wockhardt, I recall, came out with some very, very good news. The stock popped up 15%. From there, in fact, the stock has actually corrected more than 20%. What do you like from that space?
I don't like it. Again, I think within the space itself, select CDMOs, CSMs, CMO players probably look a tad bit better placed, both in terms of their individual business models itself, and second, in terms of expectations of more niche launches expected to take place over the next few quarters, translating into better, robust and more healthier margins compared to the generic or the more commoditized space. Having said that, Sai Life Sciences is something that we continue holding in our domestic and global portfolios as well. Our own sense is that the kind of products that Sai Life has, the expectations in terms of margin performance going forward, and the overall trajectory that the company is on, both in terms of revenue growth, margins and expectations of bottom line growth, which we very, very closely track in terms of both the EPS rating as well as expectation of cash flows and the corresponding ROEs that it will probably generate. It probably seems to be in a good space as far as the entire sector is probably concerned.
Life, huh? So what is the kind of returns you're expecting on this one? It's at around $1,200.
So I think our general take is that a 20 to 22% return that we probably go.
Got it. Okay, thanks for that idea, but we want some more. So let's do one thing. We'll slip into a short break, come back. We'll continue our chat with Mayuresh Joshi. Stay tuned. But a few stocks are doing well today, so let's get the opinion coming in from Mayuresh Joshi. Mayuresh, Physics Wala, DAM Capital, they have put out a note today. They believe that better times ahead. The stock is actually at the high point of the day. And from the chemicals pack, actually, Navin Fluorine is a stock that's holding steady with a gain of around 2% in this sort of a market. Any view on either of these names?
I think Navin Fluorine is something that we continue liking, and that stock probably finds a good space, again, in our domestic and global portfolios. Our sense is that the numbers were very strong as far as Q4 is concerned. But the management gave an equally strong commentary as far as the next fiscal is concerned. And one of the few companies within the entire broader universe that has given a very, very strong commentary, in spite of whatever we're seeing in the West Asian crisis getting unfold. Having said that, I think both the HPP part of the segment, the R32 expansion that they're probably doing, the multipurpose plant where a large part of the capex is also getting put in, and the specialty plant, chemical plant as well. I think the expectation in the capex that they're expected to do and the commissioning expected to happen, the second half of FY27, the revenue can probably grow in a very fast fashion. And again, I think the margins at which these revenues might probably concur or occur might be at a very, very good rate as well. And therefore, I think that the earnings trajectory or the earnings rate will actually continue doing well for Navin Fluorine over the next few quarters, which makes us believe that the stock is poised to do well over the next 12 to 15 months.
Okay, all right. I got that. Navin Fluorine is poised to do well. Very quickly, two-wheelers from the EV basket, do you like either of them? Because the Vahan data actually is showing a good growth, and it's going to come on a low base because last year, the first half of the year was weak. So some of these numbers actually will look quite impressive. Do you like either of them? Ather has been the outperformer. Ola has been the underperformer. And Greaves Cotton, they have that electric mobility part of it, though they're scheduled for an IPO. So we won't get much clarity on that front till the IPO comes out. Any of these you like, or some other way of playing the EV theme?
Also, I think our own sense is that the OEMs might continue doing well, but the auto anchors, Nigel, can probably have a little bit of a better say, in our opinion. I heard the NRB management. In fact, if you probably look at the transcript of NRB Bearings itself, they've given a very, very strong outlook. They're developing a very strong EV portfolio. They are probably developing a large part of their pool outside the core automotive segment as well, in engineering and construction. And the pool of clients that they're servicing exclusively, I think whether it's the Mercedes or BMWs of the world, I think that really augurs well in terms of their supply chain. So NRB Bearings, I think with the kind of supply chains that they've probably got, the confidence that the management probably generated, both in their EV basket that they're probably expected to cater from the domestic and the global giants, and the expectations of foraying into newer segments, I think the stock is poised to do well.
Interesting one out there. Ms. Zaveri sounded extremely optimistic on the path ahead. Remember, this has been a company that's not grown that much, but it appears the promoter entity now seems to have sorted out the issues, and that's why they're focusing on growth, doubling revenues in the next 5 years. Well, Mayuresh, we'll thank you on that note. Thanks for joining in and talking all those stocks to us.